In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon His last and beloved Messenger Muhammad, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all. The title of this presentation is, Does Satan affect some people and others not? Meaning, is the effect of Satan on us selective? So in this presentation I will answer from the guidance of the last revelation of Allah God to be with the Quran. The big question, which is, does Satan affect some people and others they are immune from this effect? Are people like, some people are born that Satan can affect them and others he can't? Now instead of going to conjecture and I guess this and I guess that, let's go to the Quran. And in the Quran, in chapter 2 verse 168, Allah God Almighty states the following. This is a translation. O people, eat of that which is lawful and good on the earth, and follow not the footsteps of Satan. Verily, he is to you an open enemy. So if we ponder upon this verse, we see that Allah says here, O people. So He's addressing all people, not a selected few. Eat of that which is lawful and good on the earth, and follow not the footsteps of Satan. Verily, he is to you an open enemy. So the answer to this question, is the effect of Satan on us selective? The answer is no. Satan affects all people with the same power, with the same degree of influence. So that is the answer from the Quran. Now in order to understand this more and to see the practical applications of this in our life, we need to understand how does Satan affect each and every one of us. So we learn from the Quran that no one is immune from this. Now if we go to the Quran, Allah teaches us in one verse how does Satan affect us, the scientific way of how Satan affects each and every one of us. And we learn this by pondering upon verse number 4 of chapter 114 of the Quran, which reads, from the evil of the whisperer who hides. So Allah is teaching us here that Satan, and we learn from the Quran that each and every one of us has a companion devil, meaning that when you are born, there is a devil assigned to you at birth, and it stays with you till death, and no one is immune from this. Now the way this companion devil, this Satan, affects you is that he whispers to you from the evil of the whisperer, meaning he talks to you like a person talking to you, but at the same time he hides from you, meaning he doesn't want you to feel his presence. So there's a question, how can my companion devil and the companion devil of every person speak to him and at the same time hide from him? The only way Satan can accomplish this is if he matches his voice with regards to tone, the languages you know, your style of speech, to the one you hear in your head. Every one of us, when you think quietly to yourself, you hear a voice in your head identical to the one you speak with. That's the voice of your own self. What Satan does, what companion devil does, he matches his voice. He makes his voice identical to the one you hear in your head. He makes it identical. And you hear ideas, they pop up in your mind, and you think that yourself is telling you this because the voice is identical, but actually it's your companion devil. And to understand this further, Allah in the Quran teaches us what kind of thoughts that Satan whispers to you with. And we learn this by pondering upon chapter 2 of the Quran, verse 169, which reads, He, i.e. Satan, commands you what is harmful, sinful, and to say about Allah God what you know not. So these are the types of thoughts that Satan whispers to you with. Ideas of harm. For example, thoughts come to your mind, they pop up into your mind, telling you, look, this life is boring. What is the purpose of this life? Why don't you end your life? You see something else on the other side. So he commands you what is harmful, to hurt yourself, also to hurt others. For example, you had an argument with someone. Satan comes to you with in your mind, telling you, look, that person insinuated this about your mother and about your sister. Why don't you go and hurt him? So Satan commands you what's harmful, to hurt yourself and others. What is sinful, perverted sexual ideas, they pop up in your mind all the time, and you think that my own self is like this, but actually it's your companion devil with a voice match the one you think with. He wants you to commit sinful acts because that will degrade your life so much and will put you in so much trouble. And also to say about Allah what you have no knowledge of. ideas pop up in your mind, insulting Allah God Almighty, insulting Muslims, insulting Prophet Muhammad, and you think that you are so clever, you think that yourself is telling you this, well actually you are deceived by Satan, by your companion devil matching the voice you think with. So I hope that's clear, and how Satan affects each and every one of us. Now, the difference between people is how they respond to these thoughts. Now, no one, as I said, is immune from this. We all hear these thoughts. Now, the question is, what is the difference? The difference comes in the response, how people respond to these thoughts. And we learn from the Quran that there are two major responses to these ideas. The first one, if you are a person having good moral values, you are a good person in your manners, the response is the following. We learn it from chapter 38 verse 41, which reads, "And remember our servant Ayub, Job, when he invoked his Lord, saying, Verily, Satan has touched me with distress and torment." So if we ponder upon the response of the Prophet of Allah God Almighty, Job, Ayub, he said, he described the effect of Satan, what Satan did to him. "Verily, Satan has touched me with distress and torment." Let me explain this. If you are a good person having good moral values, when you hear these perverted sexual ideas and fear of being unclean and all of this, you start to wrestle with these ideas. That I'm not like this. Why do I hear these thoughts? Are they true? Will Allah, God, forgive me or not? So you start wrestling with these ideas, and as a result you have mental pain and anguish. Again, if you are a person of the good moral values, you feel pain from the effect of Satan, mental pain, because you start wrestling with these ideas. So that is the response of people having good moral values. So if you start wrestling with these ideas, this means that you have good morals. You're a good person. Now I'll come to teach you from the guidance of the Quran how to deal with these ideas in a minute, but I just want to show you the other kind of response. If you are a person having bad moral values, bad manners, then the way you respond to the thoughts of Satan is the following. And we learn from this from pondering upon verse 19 of chapter 58 of the Quran, which reads, "Satan has overpowered them, so he has made them forget the remembrance of Allah God. They are the party of Satan. Verily, it is the party of Satan that will be the losers." So, if you are a person with bad moral values, bad manners, what Satan will do to you, that he will overpower you, that will make you forget the remembrance of Allah God. Let me give you examples. A person with bad moral values, Satan comes to him with a voice match the one he thinks with, telling him, "Look, you have a rough day, so why don't you take a little bit of alcohol, drink a little bit just to relax." So that person agrees with Satan and drinks alcohol, which is something forbidden in the Quran, the last revelation of Allah God to people. Another example, he comes to a person in his mind telling him, "Look, you only live once. You're a young man, go and enjoy your life, go to a nightclub, do this and that. You're not harming anybody, you're just having fun." So a person with bad manners, with bad moral values, he agrees with these thoughts. He's telling him to hurt himself and others, he does this. He's telling him to commit adultery, to fornicate, to insult Allah, to insult Prophet Muhammad, to insult Muslims. He agrees with this. So as a result, he doesn't feel pain from these thoughts of Satan, but he's deceived by Satan in making kind of committing sins, and Satan wants to drive him to hellfire step by step. So let me just summarize now. If you are a person with good moral values, you wrestle with these ideas. If you are a person with bad moral values, you are deceived by Satan in following harmful acts, hurting others, sinful acts, insulting religious values. Now, in the Quran, in the last revelation of Allah God to people, Allah teaches us how to deal with these thoughts, and that will benefit both parties, people with good moral values, and will be a way, Allah God willing, for the people with bad moral values to be guided. Now the main way that we learn from the Quran how to deal with these ideas is that when an idea comes into your mind with a thought matching the ones you think with the voice matching the one you think with, is to say, "I seek refuge with Allah God from Satan the accursed. Now, the reason we say this is not because it's something that will drive Satan away. No, is that when you say this, you remind yourself of the guidance you are hearing now from the Quran, that the thought I just experienced is not from myself, and it's not myself is like this. Allah will not judge me for this thought. Allah will not judge me for this thought because it's not from myself, it's from my companion devil. When you know this, you have a calm. You will be calm. You will be. You start feeling comfort and relief, because now you know the thoughts of the source of these ideas, and there's not from myself. So how Allah will judge me for them? It's not myself is telling me this. So you just start ignoring these thoughts, and you will focus. You get focused, more focused, and you get more productive in your life. Instead of wasting your energy resting with these ideas, you just start ignoring them. At the beginning, it's not that easy, but it will get easier with time. Start ignoring them and focus on your life. Now, a person with bad moral values, when he realizes that he's deceived by Satan, he, Allah God willing, will start taking actions of not agreeing with these thoughts that come to his mind, convincing him that to go to nightclubs and to drink alcohol and to fornicate and to cheat and to hurt other people. He will start rectifying his way and following, Allah God willing, the guidance of Allah God in the Quran. And to know more details about this topic, please visit my website at www.quran-miracle.com. This is the website, and you can email me at zaidquran@gmail.com, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you all.